I'm Brent.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm David, and you're listening to The Plotline. Hello to all our listeners, especially the listeners in Copenhagen, Denmark. Welcome to our second week where we are reviewing Black Adam. That's right, Dwayne The Rock Johnson is Dwayne The Rock Johnson with a cape. But first, we have
an update on Rohan Campbell. To anybody who doesn't know, Rohan Campbell is the actor who plays Corey in Halloween Ends.
Corey in the house.
He is currently watching Halloween Ends at a drive-thru at the time of recording.
Is that like, I don't know, watching your own movie? How? Do you think that's weird? Like,
yeah.
I feel like you'd watch it at the premiere and then you're like, ugh.
You see it's like drive-in?
Drive-in. Yeah.
Imagine you're in your car. You're watching Halloween Ends for the first time, and you look over,
and you're hating the Corey guy.
Yeah, and he's just looking at you.
Could you imagine? I'd piss myself if I looked over right after the scene where he's standing out the window. If I looked over and he's just there.
People are laughing too, and he's just in his car like, ah. And he's on his motorcycle with Michael in the back with him, just watching the movie.
He hears people start up their cars to go.
They're leaving.
Yeah.
He's the only one at the end watching. He's not even clapping.
Who's watching Halloween Ends in a drive-thru this late in the game?
Rohan Campbell.
Just him.
Just Rohan Campbell.
We love
Imagine he's in the car by himself. Like he's not with anybody.
Did you see?
I didn't. He was just there.
Oh no.
But no, we're happy to see he's still doing good. Like I said, we're gonna do weekly Corey checks just to check up on him, and we're happy to see he's doing good.
Yeah, I'm very happy.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it stays as good. I mean, he could be on the decline.
He's at a drive-in,
alone,
watching his own movie.
And let me tell you, I wouldn't listen to this podcast just in my leisure.
No,
I have.
So that was our weekly Corey check. Now we got some news. Got some news today?
My piece of news is Shelley Duvall is to return to acting with the Forest Hills horror picture.
Shelley Duvall, that's the girl from The Shining, right?
Yes, famed
screamer.
Yeah. I feel like she didn't do much else. She was in Popeye.
Well, that
she played olive oil.
She was.
She. That just makes sense.
Yeah.
She just looks like olive oil.
Well, like, she left acting, I'm pretty sure, because The Shining, like, messed her up. Like, she was, like, psychologically...
Dr. Phil did a really exploitative interview.
Every Dr. Phil interview is exploitative.
But, like, especially so. It's especially bad. She's just, like, talking, like... It's good to see that she's in good health, because she was not looking well. And he's like, are you mentally unwell? And she's like, blah, blah, blah. Like... Very obviously not. It was bad to watch because you're like, Dr. Phil, you suck for this.
Was that a quote?
Yeah, was that what she actually said? Because
no. I'm just saying, for the record, no. That was an artistic interpretation of how that interview went in my mind's eye.
It's always been hard for me to watch The Shining, one, because it's 3 hours of Jack Nicholson being goofy.
Oh, it's so
and then
good.
just it's good, but like knowing what the movie did to her, like how they treated her on set and stuff, like there's a lot of like just backlash and it leaves a bad taste in your mouth because like she's just.
Now, I'm not advocating treating your actors poorly, and I know that there are a lot of rules and laws about that.
But have you seen her performance in The Shining?
She
kills it. Bravo for Shelley Duvall.
Shelley Duvall, if you're listening to this podcast.
Again.
We have a list of very obscure actors that have no correlation that we really care about.
Shelley Duvall.
I care about Shelley Duvall, and I hope she's well. If you're listening, Shelley, cheers to you, and kudos to coming back to the acting scene.
It must have been very hard for you, and we're all glad to see it.
We are. Congratulations, Shelley. Congratulations. Golf clap.
What's your piece of news?
It's my piece of news?
Yeah.
So, Henry Cavill is leaving The Witcher. The Witcher's been for 4 seasons now. Henry Cavill's played Geralt every season.
3.
Is it 3 seasons? Okay.
This will be the 4th season.
It'll be going into the 4th. All right, yeah. He's leaving, and replacing him is Liam Hemsworth, better known as Chris Hemsworth's little brother, better known as the guy that dated Miley Cyrus.
Married.
Oh wow. I'm not up to date on that.
Are they?
They're
not together anymore.
So better known as the guy that is divorced from Miley Cyrus. He goes by a lot of monikers, and now he's going to be in The Witcher, which is... I stopped watching The Witcher after season 1, just didn't get into it much, so, like, this is definitely a good move for Henry Cavill.
I think I watched the first season of The Witcher. I don't remember anything about it other than the song that guy sings.
I don't even remember that.
The, like, toss a coin to your Witcher?
Nope.
No? It was, like, a whole thing for, like, all of a day.
What a glorious day it must have been.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, like, the ins and outs of this, but from what I've heard, this is, like, a good thing for Henry Cavill, I would imagine. Because I don't think he liked working on The Witcher. From what I'm to understand, there were creative differences between him and the creative team. He really likes the character and the books in particular, from what I'm to understand. And I don't think they saw eye to eye on how the show was going. At the same time, I think this is a good career move because I think he's going to be Superman. Oh, he is going to be Superman again.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
It's pretty topical, actually.
Yeah, and completely lost it.
Completely lost it.
I
saw this happens every episode now. Once again, the thought just left. I saw you look at me and then nothing.
I don't even know what
you
to.
You don't even know anymore.
Don't even know.
Wow.
It was completely gone.
That sucker left.
He just checked out.
You are great on this for like 98%, but the 2%, like, you shut off. It's like oh man.
There's like a guy in my head. He's like, just a second too early.
Hard reset.
For those not be able to view, he did a real swift lever pull movement.
Also, for those not being able to see us, which is everyone, because we don't video this, you're wearing the Kevin Feige hat.
You are wearing. It's a Gucci hat.
It's a Gucci hat.
Yeah, but like you look like Kevin Feige. Look at the Feigmeister.
It's like, is it Feige? Is it Feige? You
it's
can't
whatever
say it.
I'm feeling.
Fushigi.
The Fushigi ball.
I'm wearing my suburban white mom hat.
Is it legitimately Gucci?
No.
Oh, I was like, you pretentious piece.
Fucci, dude.
Yeah, it's a Fucci. I got this in a sketchy Chinatown deal.
Oh.
Did you get it at the same place you got your Feezies?
Yeah.
Your fake Yeezys.
I'm so glad that I don't own a real pair of Yeezys now.
Oh, because Kanye has the incredible talent of saying the worst thing possible at every right moment? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I can now proudly say that I have a fake pair of Yeezys because I like the style, but I didn't want to give money to that man.
It's impressive how bad he is.
Yeah, you gave it to someone who deserves it so much more.
Mm-hmm.
Some hard-working hustler in the heart of New York.
Yeah. I honestly,
Kanye's hardworking. He's working hard at being America's most hated man.
He's working hard at completely ruining his career or any potential career paths.
It's been such a wildfire of a week to follow him just stumbling.
Oh my
on
gosh.
Purpose at this point.
And then
it seems
the
intentional.
tweet that you sent me earlier. Oh,
was
gosh,
it the
where he's like a doctor of a certain type? I can't name that type at a hospital of a certain kind. With something else.
And it was only reported by media run by a certain type of person.
Oh, I didn't see that.
The doctor's a Jew.
And then he goes, but I can't say what type of person that is. The doctor was Jewish.
Of course. Which, when you're facing backlash about something you've said, especially something anti-Semitic, you don't double down on it.
Oh, he's tripled down.
He's like quadrupled down on it. And there's a level of just... He's not aware. And I think that's the most dangerous thing. Is that someone like Kanye West is not aware.
I think he is aware to a degree. I just don't think he's well.
The tweet I was talking about...
That doesn't excuse it.
No.
No, not at all. In no way, shape, or form.
He's like been a big, like, you know, he's off the deep end and stuff. He tweeted out something like, I now know what it feels like to be George Floyd.
Are you kidding me?
Because he feels like the media is like on his neck. Like it's impressive. It's like he just knows the worst thing to say.
He's getting sued by their family.
Good.
Because did you see this for like almost like I don't. It was like some dumb amount, like almost $1 billion.
Oh my god!
I want to say it was like something like $800 million. They're suing him because he peddled the conspiracy theory that he died because he came into contact with because he was high on fentanyl, which is like a debunked QAnon conspiracy theory.
Mm-hmm.
And so rightfully so, his family, George Floyd's family, is suing Kanye West.
And they're suing him for that. He's like doubling down on just being the worst person.
Oh, he lost the Adidas because he was like, Adidas won't drop me, and then they immediately dropped him.
He poked a bear that didn't need poked. Like, he is.
I'm so glad that Adidas owns the rights to those shoes. Because I love...
Do they?
Yes.
They do. They own the rights to the designs and the colorways.
They just won't call them Yeezys, most likely.
So what do you think he was up to when he walked into Skechers, not knowing they were a Jewish
I don't think he
brand?
meant to. I think he was lost. I just think he just...
Is this Adidas?
He walked in and was like, hey! What? And it's Skechers. You know Kanye is always screaming.
That's Lil Wayne.
No, that's Lil Jon.
Oh, so that's Lil Jon. Yeah!
Lil Wayne sparks the lighter and goes,
Alright, you're right.
Lil Jon does that. Kanye just screams.
Man, it's become a real Kanye cast.
Yeah.
What's your piece of news, Kevin?
My piece of news. Oh, perfect segue too.
From Kanye? What just popped?
Did you just rip ass?
Oh
Was that your cheeks?
No, it was my bottle of Pepsi flexing.
I don't know, man. I've heard you rip some heinous stinkers.
No.
I'm gonna cut this part.
I don't think you should.
Oh no.
We got our head
To my credit, I do rip them sometimes in front of you.
Bro,
But this was the one time I did it.
Bro, you're letting off some poots.
The bottle went. For those of you listening, this is a bottle of. Can I say Pepsi?
They're not gonna listen to this.
No, I want this in.
Keep it.
We're doing this live.
We're keeping it.
Hey, less editing for me. So, not a perfect segue from Kanye, but into our following topic. According to an article from Screen Rant I saw earlier, Black Adam, in its second week at the U.S. box office, has surpassed $100 million and has done so faster than any other DCEU film since Aquaman.
Okay, I was gonna say Aquaman should probably be the last. Yeah, Aquaman and now Black Adam are probably like at the top for my favorite DCEU movies.
I really like Shazam. I don't know.
Shazam's probably third.
I still have not seen Shazam.
It's not bad. We'll have to watch it. It's a Christmas movie.
Ooh, Christmas is coming up.
I've heard. I own a calendar. So yes, we will have to watch it. It's a great Christmas movie.
You made me watch Aquaman, and I feel like I would enjoy Shazam better. So I feel like
You didn't like Aquaman?
No, I'm so cynical these days. I don't know what happened.
You have, man. Are you
Something
okay?
happened to me. I don't know. I used to be so joyful and love movies, and now I sit down in the theater, and by the end of it, I'm always like,
Brent,
what in the
Brent.
world?
Who took your smile?
I don't know, man.
Oh man.
My occupation took my smile away from me.
I hate to hear that.
And Dwayne The Rock Johnson didn't help either.
I thought Dwayne The Rock Johnson did okay.
I thought he did what we expect of him, and that is to be himself.
So before we get into anything, spoilers.
Oh, I was gonna say we should have like a brief moment before.
Yeah.
What
everybody's general thoughts about the movie,
and then we'll once again say spoilers.
Then we'll get into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once again, I put it in the upper bit of the DCEU, which I mean, it's not a huge catalog and it's not a great catalog.
Not particularly,
but it's one of those movies I left not annoyed or upset. I think it did its job and it stayed in its own lane.
Well,
I have my issues with it, of course.
Man, do you think it's higher up in the DCEU?
It's Aquaman, Shazam, Black Adam. It's in that area.
Man, I think still
the OG
top,
Wonder Woman.
Absolute top of the list for me, still to this day, is The Man of Steel. I love that movie through and through. I actually watched like the first half of it last night.
I'm just not a huge Superman fan to begin with, so...
Yeah, I used to not be, and then I saw The Man of Steel, and somebody made him really sad. And you know what? I related to that.
That's all it took.
Yeah, that's all it took.
Huh.
Well, it just, they added complexity to a character that's generally very happy-go-lucky. Things generally go pretty okay for him, and I think it's led to an even more interesting character later on in later movies. I liked that interpretation of the character. I'm excited to see where they might go now, but I'm also cautious because I'm afraid that they're going to take away some of that in the future.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how the DCEU carries forward now. James Gunn also in control of everything. I mean, they have Henry Cavill back, which is huge.
Yeah, which is gigantic.
Batfleck's still in limbo. We could get him. We could get Michael Keaton Batman from the Flash movie.
We know, confirmed from Jason Momoa himself. I don't know if you know this or not. So they did a test screening of Aquaman 2 with a scene featuring Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne.
Oh shoot!
And audiences didn't like it, and they scrapped it and got Ben Affleck back. As Bruce Wayne for that scene, and Jason Momoa confirmed this, with a picture of him and Ben Affleck together, we're back.
Nice. I didn't hate Batfleck.
I like Batfleck.
I feel like they could have
my favorite
done him better on the whole, writing of Batman and stuff, but it's not his fault.
I disagree.
I believe him.
Batman's writing is the best part of all of the movies that Ben Affleck's. I think he's the best part of any movie that he's in as Batman. Maybe not so much the Justice League because it's really long.
Yeah,
but he's still.
I want to see his solo movie before.
Batman vs Superman is my favorite DCEU movie, and I know that's a wildly unpopular opinion.
That's such a hot take.
I think,
and I respect it.
I'm not talking the theatrical cut. I'm talking the director's vision, the ultimate edition, the cohesive version of the movie that the studio didn't do a terrible chop job to. What were you gonna say?
If anybody's listening and hasn't watched the director's extended editions of Batman vs. Superman and then the Zack Snyder cut of the Justice League, if you don't like those movies, that's why.
I'm just getting tired of us having to watch these special edition cuts to appreciate what they're making. I hope they get that figured out where we actually see the visions of the directors play out.
Well, it's just I feel like studios are afraid to let a director do something bold, and B, let him do it for a long runtime. I feel like if you have Batman on the screen, you could put it on for 4 hours. Maybe give me a 10-minute intermission so I can pee. I'm gonna sit there for 4 hours in a theater and I'm gonna watch it. I feel like studios are really scared to have that long runtime, so they mandate it's got to be 2 hours long.
So I know we're past the news. Sorry, this just reminded me. Did you guys see that Avatar: The Way of the Water has a plus 3 hour runtime?
Yeah, I did see
That's
that.
disgusting.
I'm kind of intrigued to see what they're gonna do with 3 hours. They have 2 other movies past this one planned.
Oh my god!
So how did they have enough content for more than 3 hours of film?
I'm just not excited for that movie at all.
It looks really good.
Oh, it looks
visually.
I mean, that was the first Avatar too. It was beautiful, but I'm movie wise and story wise, just meh.
Looking at it now, the first one is not as technically impressive, even with the remaster update that they did. It could have been the 3D. We watched it in 3D for the first time, Brent and I, and it didn't hold up, in my opinion.
Yeah, not mine either. I fell asleep.
Real habit this guy has.
Man, you are
reoccurring. That's gonna be a reoccurring.
You're a sleepy boy.
I'm probably. I should probably talk to my doctor. I might be narcoleptic. Is that people who sleep a lot? Is that what that is?
Yeah, they can fall asleep at any time. Yeah, I got some.
That feels like me.
Yeah.
I feel like I have mild.
Yeah, there's different versions and layers.
But I'm just if I'm not actively doing something, if the movie's not actively engaging me, I'm gonna fall asleep. Because I'm cozy. I'm in a dark room. I'm in a nice comfy chair. The theaters let me stretch my legs out.
So what you're saying is theater should go back to those uncomfortable little flippy chairs.
You want like the spring?
Yes, I want
going.
my butt to hurt the whole movie so I'm feeling something. You know, I want
Oh my
because
gosh.
movies these days don't let me feel anything, don't make me feel anything anymore.
Oh,
So
wow.
at least, you know, my legs going numb will leave me
Oh
with some
my
type of feeling.
goodness.
After the podcast, we need to talk about your mental health.
Dude,
I'm
who
fine.
took your smile?
I'm fine. The movie Smile.
No, that
Really took
that would
my
give
smile.
you a
that would
smile.
give you a smile.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't It Follows, but man, you got to get past that.
Man, I wish every movie was It Follows.
But
I wish-
anyways, Batfleck's back. Is that what we're?
That's where we were before I went off on a tangent.
Yeah. So I got steered back
Well, no. Batfleck is back for Aquaman.
for Aquaman. Yes, we don't.
We don't
He
know.
is still
Feels
kind
pretty
of in
confirmed.
limbo.
Yeah.
But he
It feels better than
Yeah.
Keaton.
We
because-
haven't.
because the whole movie that we know of where Michael Keaton was just the new Batman was Batgirl, and that movie doesn't exist anymore.
R.I.P.
So, yeah, R.I.P. Pour one out for
T's and
Batgirl.
P's.
I'm so glad that Warner Brothers has given somebody else control of DC so David Zaslav can't hurt any more movies.
Yeah.
The man who hates movies being in control of a bunch of franchises that I care about. Not a good move financially.
Not helping me have any faith in you.
Yeah. So, good thing they got like a well-liked and well-known filmmaker to head that.
Yeah.
Instead of the man behind such geniuses as Alaskan Bush People, Alaska, the Last Frontier, Gold Rush that takes place in Alaska.
He knows there's 49 other states, right?
I don't think so.
Oh gosh. Bless his heart. Prayers.
Thanks to all of our listeners in Alaska, by the
Shout
way.
out to Anchorage. It's the capital.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Alright, I think it's the only city in Alaska.
There are no others.
It's just
All of Alaska is Anchorage. If you zoom in on Alaska, you know how like where you get cities that break up, Anchorage just follows you wherever you go.
If you would have put a gun to my head and told me to name a city in Alaska, I'd be dead right now.
I just know the capital.
I couldn't have told you that. You could have told me the capital of Alaska right now. I'm gonna kill you and I'd be dead because I had no idea.
Catch us on next episode doing the capitals of every U.S. state quiz for Brent. We're gonna see how that rolls out.
We're gonna get our gun and get the quizzing.
Tune in
We're
next
not.
week to hear me die.
Well, Brent, how do you like Black Adam?
I didn't fall asleep,
Well,
Hey!
hey, yeah.
but I kind of wished I did toward
Oh.
the end. It was. I feel like it had some pacing issues in the middle, but it was definitely not the worst DC movie I've ever seen.
I'll give you pacing issues.
The middle was a bit muddled.
I got toward the. It kind of had multiple ending syndrome. I feel
Mhm.
like, in my opinion, and I felt like I was like, okay, this is a good place to wrap it up, and then there was still like another 30 minutes left, and I was like, what on earth?
So
I was just at that point, I was ready to go.
before we get into spoilers, if you're gonna go watch Black Adam, expect two not fully developed movies glued together.
To make a
Yeah.
semi-developed movie.
Almost.
Almost.
It's not as
80%.
bad as that sounds,
But
but it is still accurate.
that's
Very
what
good.
it is. So do we want to get into spoilers?
I say we get into spoilers.
So
Wait.
beyond,
So we all generally liked it.
yeah,
Right.
yes,
Okay, we think it's a flawed but okay movie.
yeah.
Okay, now
So,
we can get into spoilers.
Beyond this point, there will be spoilers. Sorry, we didn't do that last episode. That episode was a free for all.
That was we're gonna just talk and hope for the best kind of.
That was a what if we did a podcast?
That was a what if we did a podcast.
And boy, did we!
Yep.
Here we are again.
So now we have an actual spoiler warning.
So, what did you guys think of Skinny Rock?
Oh my gosh! I knew it from the beginning of the movie. Whenever he was like off screen, the dad was off screen. You could only like hear him. I'm like, that's the Rock's voice. And then they show him, and it's like they don't show his face. But then when they do the reveal, oh my gosh, it's like it's so uncanny valley to see the Rock's big old head on such a skinny, malnourished body.
Yeah. So, shout out to Benjamin Patterson, the body actor of Skinny Rock.
They really Chris Evans The Rock.
They really did.
Just
to your point of thinking that it sounded like The Rock, I agree with you. I assumed that that's because they were doing like why cast another actor to play his dad? Just use The Rock's voice because that's a safe bet. They did that very same thing in this movie. King Acton, the guy from the beginning that's the evil king that wants the crown, is played by the same actor as Ishmael, who becomes Sabak by the end.
oh,
That guy's name is Marwan Kenzari.
I wouldn't have made it through that name. I mean, I'm not good with names and pronunciations.
Saucy Bacon.
Who is Kevin Bacon's daughter?
Oh yeah, we forgot about that too.
We forgot about that. None of us. We found that out 5 minutes before we hit the record button on this podcast.
And we all stopped.
And we all mouth agape. We're like, how did we not think about Saucy Bacon being Kevin Bacon's daughter?
Apologies to Saucy Bacon for butchering her name.
Stay saucy.
We spoke about Kevin Bacon and Saucy Bacon in that podcast, and never did we put the pieces together.
Not one of us.
I hope there's like this huge like Kevin Bacon and Kevin Bacon family super fan that listen. They're like, they have no idea. These guys are frauds. They have no idea what they're talking about.
It's our one listener in Dusseldorf.
Shout out to Dusseldorf.
Shout out to Dusseldorf, Germany.
Heck yeah. It's in Germany.
Is it?
Sure.
That's what you said earlier. You
Did I
said
say
Dusseldorf,
You
Germany.
did say Dusseldorf.
Oh,
No, yeah, Dusseldorf is it's either Belgium or
Where else?
Germany.
It's not in Belgium. Where else would it be?
There was one. We had a listener in Belgium as well.
Dusseldorf, Alaska? No way.
There's only one city.
I
And
know.
you know it. It's Anchorage.
So there is a Dusseldorf in Germany.
Okay, so it's Dusseldorf, Germany.
It's right next to Kunstpalast.
Don't hurt yourself.
That one was hard.
Put the phone down.
What would you say that is?
Kunstpalast.
Yeah, Kunstpalast.
Huh.
Right next to Rheinturm.
All right.
Sorry to our one listener in Dusseldorf.
Not Dusseldorf.
Oh no, this has gone so poorly so quickly.
You guys are gonna get used to this of just it being a train wreck, and we're gonna eventually talk about the movie.
Yeah, one day we'll get back to Black Adam.
We were so professional in the first one. We tried really hard.
My professional review of Black Adam is, where's The Rock's Widow Peak?
Oh yeah, that'd be so cool. I really wish they'd
he
given him
didn't have hair.
that deep widow's
He
peak.
looks jarring without the hair. I think I'd be able to separate it from it being The Rock more so if he had hair. I'd be like, look, it's The Rock playing Black Adam, and I'll just like, that's The Rock.
He just has such a... I even with hair, I don't think it would change. He has such a big, thick skull.
Yeah.
Tell me the last time you saw The Rock with hair.
Probably like 2007.
Yeah, actually, probably, yeah.
Race to Witch Mountain, I think he had hair.
Oh
did
my
have hair.
gosh. So, can we all agree that Teth Adam is a way cooler name than Black
Yes.
Adam? How did they go from Teth Adam in this movie? They'd never call him Black Adam in this movie. Well, until the very end.
Well, they try to like make up for that when the kid was... I hated the kid.
The kids suck.
I
think in my notes I have annoying kid.
I didn't even need to make that a note. It's just...
Yeah, I did. It's his name is Amon Tomaz, not the actor, the character's name. It's the professor lady's son / annoying kid.
Yeah, so like he like in a throwaway line he's like trying to like convince Black Adam to be like the god of like Kondok, thank you. He's like, you wear a lot of black, we could play off that.
He was like,
And
you
I'm
need
like,
a
shut up.
catchphrase like the man in black sent you.
Yeah, and it's just...
I will admit that him saying that in just the wrong times was hilarious.
Yes, that was a very good bit. That and him not using doors. That was two good bits they decided to stick with.
One of my notes was Teth Adam does not believe in leg day.
He does not.
He doesn't touch the ground until he is out of his Shazam form.
Yes.
Which also, I cannot believe he said Shazam and then didn't turn into a skeleton.
Yeah.
What?
Normally, whenever the way that they defeat Black Adam is by getting him to say Shazam and then he turns into a skeleton because it's been like 5,000 years.
He shouldn't be alive.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah. I think another way they can do it is if, like, Billy Batson, like, bear hugs him and then says it can, the lightning, if it hits, like, Black Adam, it'll transform him.
Yeah.
And that's the other way, I think.
Huh.
Yeah. Which is, like, a cool mechanic. I like that it's, like, if the lightning strikes you, you get transformed.
Yeah. But no, he just got back to Skinny Rock and then they, drug him to prison.
And then, why... I was gonna really try to be like linear on this one. Completely threw that away.
This movie is hard to be linear.
I wrote down like plot points. I know the order of everything. Why would Pierce Brosnan plays Dr. Fate?
Great casting.
He did an excellent job. Not long for this earth. I pour one out for Dr. Fate.
R.I.P. to the homie.
I'm excited that they can play with that character more. Dr. Fate, because Dr. Fate really transcends the character that is like,
it's not the person behind the mask.
Yeah, in this case it's the helmet that is the character, which is really cool. So Pierce Brosnan plays the Kent Nelson iteration of the character. You can see Dr. Fate played by many different characters through the timeline of the DC comics and animated things. Like in the Young Justice series, the character Zatara is Dr. Fate for like most of the runtime of that show. And then Zatara's daughter, Zatanna, and some kids that she's been grooming to be Dr. Fate become, like, they start trading off the helmet so he can have a life again. And I hope they can do something like that.
They will. They kept the helmet. So
yeah, the helmet, like, didn't it disappear?
Yeah, so it's probably like the Green Lantern ring where it's like it's going to choose someone else.
Yeah, and I hope that it is Zatara in the future, because that would be cool, because that'll set up a plot line where Zatara is absolutely miserable in the helmet and they got to figure out how to get that guy out of there.
Yeah. So Dr. Fate's with this task force sent by Amanda Waller.
Yes, but hold on a second.
Oh?
We talked about The Rock getting skinny again.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that's what we got to.
I can't believe... So they set up that Dr. Fate can see the future. Why would he ever let Teth Adam get captured and put in the thing if he knew that he needed him later?
I know why.
Dr. Fate, like, calls to Teth Adam in his, like, tube that they put him in, and he gets out, fights a bunch of people, and then he becomes, Teth Adam again, like, big and buff and strong. And I just don't understand why, other than for just the plot demanded it.
Okay, that was my reasoning.
Or also, maybe Pierce Brosnan only wanted to be in this one movie. He wanted it to be like a one and done, so he didn't get endlessly asked questions about the DC stuff. Those are the only reasons I can think of, because it just doesn't make any sense otherwise.
No.
But, so, we're going to skip back now, because I had that thought a little early and I didn't want to lose it.
I just want to say before we skip back, that was when I mentioned earlier, thinking the movie was going to end. I thought the movie was going to end when they locked him up.
And then there's like another half hour.
And then they like introduced the main villain of the movie finally in the third act. Yeah.
How
really Halloween ended it. The main villain in the third act.
Hey, Hollywood, can you like stop introducing multiple villains in a movie?
Can I just like have one villain in a movie and like he's from the start, so I get to like follow him and not just like, man, it's just, you don't care.
Yeah, like,
he was just a CGI mess.
Spider-Man's been doing this for decades, and it hasn't worked. Why does everybody want this?
Just show me the villain, show me who we're fighting, and get to it.
We want a complicated villain that has motives that can be clearly defined.
Or pure evil.
Pure evil, yeah, I'm okay with that. But their motives, still, I would like defined motives. Mm-hmm. I want a reason for their evil,
Remember in Thor when they started off with the literal villain and we didn't see him till like the second half of
the
gore?
Yeah.
We're like, wow.
Which, such a waste
we didn't see him butcher one god.
I've heard that there was like a bunch of stuff that they cut.
Probably.
Which is a huge shame. Also, Hollywood, stop cutting out the good parts of the movies.
we would like to see it.
Yeah, so this movie featured the problem of too many cooks in the kitchen, sorry.
You know, I hate when I have a lot of pots.
Too many pots in the kitchen. Yeah, too many pots in the cupboard. That
Don't try to make that a thing.
I could have saved that if I were smarter.
So I thought you were going for too many cooks. I was about to say that. You went with pots, and you shut my brain off. I'm like, where's he going with pots?
You know, I was thinking of too many cooks, but like the stew, not the cooks.
The stew.
It takes a lot to make a stew. It's like the
great.
first line.
Great. Oh my gosh, man, you are.
I'm not on my A game.
You're on like your C game.
I came more prepared this time. Way less good at talking. That was even poor grammar there. Guys,
you're entertaining.
Thanks.
So he's part of this task force sent by Amanda Waller.
Oh yeah. Pierce Brosnan's Dr. Fate is a part of the Justice Society of America.
Which, great addition. This is what the DCEU needs, and it could be controversial. More characters to care about. Yeah. Because, man, they are lacking.
Here's my problem. I didn't care about any of them.
I cared about them.
I cared about Dr. Fate, but then he dies.
That was they made you care more about Dr. Fate.
Yes,
because they were going to kill him.
I cared more about Dr. Fate than I did Teth Adam.
Yeah, that's true. Pierce Brosnan is like
he's
oozing charisma in this movie.
I didn't hate Hawkman.
I was so annoyed with Hawkman. After the fourth time of him being like,
yes,
we got a problem, and we're not solving it, and we're still not solving it, and we're still not solving it, and it's like, he can't stop Teth Adam.
So, before we start getting more ahead, let's introduce the lineup of the Justice Society.
Okay, yeah, so we have Aldis Hodge as Hawkman, or Carter Hall is his civilian name. We've already mentioned Pierce Brosnan as Kent Nelson's Dr. Fate. Noah Centineo plays Atom Smasher, who is his civilian name is Al Rothstein. And then Cyclone is played by Quintessa Swindell. Her Cyclone civilian name is Maxine Hunkel.
Yeah. Brutal.
Hunkel.
Brutal deck of cards she was dealt.
Truly. Cyclone's powers are cool, and brutal cards she was dealt. This should have been, the Justice Society should have had their own movie, so they could explore these characters more. There's a throwaway line in this movie where she talks about some kind of a mad scientist injecting her body forcibly with nanobots, and that's why she can do the thing that she does. And she uses those nanobots to save Kareem, the electrician brother of the professor lady that we haven't talked about yet. He is played by Muhammad Amr.
He was great.
I think I said that right. It's Amer, Amr.
Amir?
That'd be with an I.
Oh.
Maybe it's Amr?
Whatever.
Something. Sorry, Muhammad Amr. So yeah, she uses said nanobots to save him after he's shot, which, such a cool backstory. Such a poor hand she was dealt, being named Hunkel and then experimented on.
Yeah.
I wish that they had made the two separate movies that they were trying.
And this is what we talked about. There's two movies within one movie. It was just...
Yeah.
Because, like, I followed every character well enough to understand.
Yeah.
Atom Smasher was kind of like the comedic relief of the group.
Oh my gosh, that guy's just so horny in this movie.
Dude, him and Cyclone, he wanted to Atom Smash her, if you know what I mean.
I think he even wanted to Atom Smash Black Adam.
Anything that moved.
If it had a pulse.
If he was on screen, there was sexual tension.
Yeah. He was, like, feeling up a statue at one point. I mean, it got steamy in there.
The boy's a menace.
I loved every minute of it.
That's the only part I was awake for.
Truly. I woke up.
So, yeah.
The atom was smashing.
They're sent by Amanda Waller, of Suicide Squad fame and the Suicide Squad fame.
Yeah.
She sends them in, so she apparently just works with every task force of super beings, good or bad.
She has to have some real deep connections with the government, because at the end of Peacemaker, she should have been like in prison or something.
Yeah.
Because
Was she like arrested?
her daughter like outed her for Task Force X, and so they go to a Task Force X, like compound in the movie, and so it leads me to believe that stuff in Peacemaker didn't even matter.
Or
this happened
before. Timeline what?
Maybe.
The DCEU's always had a weird timeline.
They have not clearly defined the timeline,
No.
so it could have happened before, but I can't see her having such a sweet, like, setup in the middle of a glacier or whatever, like, coming from having Belle Reve Penitentiary and that janky setup there.
Time will tell on that one.
I'm very intrigued to see. I hope that it's my version where it's like taking place after and the government just kind of let her off and she's just doing her own thing elsewhere, because I like Amanda
That's her
Waller's
punishment.
character.
She has to work with heroes now. She's like, oh.
Well, it's still Task Force X, which is still, the bad guys.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. It's hard to say. They mention, I think, Task Force X in the movie.
Yeah. This is also, like, the Justice Society's been on plenty of missions, so we wonder if, like, Viola Davis Amanda Waller's been over it the entire time.
I don't know.
It's just...
Yeah.
It's just the little things where you're like, I don't know what is going on in the DC.
Yeah, and so I hate all the parallels that people draw from DC to Marvel stuff, because it's
not good.
It's all similar.
Yeah.
Like they're all inspired by similar things. And there's also, like, in the history of all these characters, there are fights. People are comparing Dr. Fate to Doctor Strange, which, fair.
Yeah.
But it's like their stories are completely different. You're just going on the surface level. Ooh, he's a floaty magic man with a cape, and he does weird dimensional fractally things with his hands. Why is the Justice Society like a knockoff X-Men in this?
Oh, they really are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they have the mansion.
They have
the jet.
Yeah.
They are just kind of like
a bunch of quirky side characters, honestly.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I never thought about it like that.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know why they went that route, because the Justice Society is like normally like kind of like a parallel to the Justice League. Actually, I think they were like the Justice League before the Justice League existed.
Yeah, I think that's just what they were called back in the 60s.
They were the Justice Society of America, and then it's probably they started opening up their borders and everything, and so they couldn't save America anymore. They decided to rebrand. So like it.
We'll see.
Why is the Justice Society of America going to conduct a medal?
I don't know. It sounds pretty like real life, honestly.
Yeah, it's very like much a parallel to.
Very topical.
It's honestly kind of like too on the nose. Like.
Yeah. Because like there's like another throwaway line where like a civilian's looking at one of the Justice Society people who are like. They're like, we're here to help you, and they're like, no, you're not.
You haven't helped us this far.
Yeah, you haven't helped us at all now. So, to catch us up, because we've talked a lot about the side characters, and we're kind of like all over the place. To like reel it back in. So the movie starts.
Oh yeah, this movie starts 5,000 years ago in the fictional nation of Kahndaq, to narration about a savior of Kahndaq during a time where there is a brutal ruler of the nation. He is enslaving its people so he can make a spooky evil crown to take over the land and do some poorly defined spooky evil things.
We're led to believe that's just this kid. Which it is.
Huh?
The kid.
What about the kid?
He's the one that like becomes their like hero.
Oh yeah, Sarah. Yeah, the savior becomes the savior, the kid that's in the beginning becomes their savior. And which isn't inaccurate.
No, that part's not inaccurate about it. And so we do the time jump, and we meet up with this professor and her crew. Which
consists of her brother
and Ishmael.
Two guys that die, I think, or maybe one guy.
One guy. Ishmael's the other.
And then they think Ishmael dies.
They do.
Ishmael doesn't die.
He disappears.
Yeah, they think he dies.
He dies, yes.
But he doesn't die. Kahndaq is being controlled by Intergang, which is a common group that show up in the DC comics. I don't know a lot about Intergang, but I don't think they're used typically here as they are in the DC comic books. It's actually like not defined at all why they're there, what they're doing there. It turns out that Ishmael's the bad guy and they're helping him. Eventually. They get to that in the last act. In the last 30 minutes of a, 2.5 hour long movie?
2.5 hour, about that, yeah.
So in the last 30 minutes, you figure out what Intergang's doing. You just know that they're bad.
And you shouldn't like them.
And you shouldn't like them.
So...
And that Ishmael's a part of them. You find that out sooner than 30 minutes to the end, but... Yeah.
So, she gets to this crown. They have to go through, this cave and stuff, and the Intergang's behind them, but she notices writing on the floor that would summon Teft Adam.
Well, she just notices writing on the floor.
She doesn't know what it's going to do, but that's what it will do.
She has no clue what it's going to do. And she puts her hands on the floor, and she says a little thing, and then she has, a magic necklace made of Eternium?
Sure.
Ethereum?
No.
Bitcoin?
No.
It's
Black Adam's powered by Bitcoin.
He's running on the blockchain.
He is the blockchain.
Block Adam. I think it's Eternium. I think.
That sounds right. But yeah, she gets the crown, and then the Intergang's like, "Yo, quit it." And they're about to kill her, and that's what she does, the whole chant thing, and then bam, a lightning bolt.
Oh yeah, it's the classic Shazam lightning bolt.
Yes.
And we skipped the part where the little kid gets...
I wanted to skip that part.
Yeah, they say that the little kid is deemed worthy. You actually see all 9 wizards, I think.
Yes.
I think it's 8 or 9 wizards. And they're they give him the powers of the gods, yada yada, he's worthy, yada yada. So, lightning bolt, bam, Shazam lightning bolt,
And he kills so many people.
And he speaks English immediately.
It is incredible. Nothing is more powerful than the English language in Hollywood.
I think that there's some kind of... I can't remember all the gods and what all their powers do. One of them is the knowledge of power. That's how Wonder Woman's so smart. Is because she can summon the power of whatever god gives knowledge. The lore is that people that have been gifted these gifts from the wizards can summon the powers of the gods. So the lightning is Zeus or whatever. They get the strength of Hercules. I think it's the speed of Hestia.
Who's the god of hooked on phonics?
No, speed of Hermes. I can't remember the knowledge god. I already said that. One of them is knowledge, and maybe it's a instance of he spawned in this time zone, so he got the latest update. English is the most prominent language for the film.
So our English speaking
man from 5,000 years ago before English existed.
Exactly. He kills most people. Lets the professor go. Ishmael goes back for what he thinks is the crown, and the cave collapses, and we are led to believe that he's dead.
Yeah.
So professor runs out, and her brother's like, "Oh my gosh, they're here!" And so they get in a car and start driving away.
Yeah.
And then, wham bam! Here comes Black Adam out the cave, takes out 2 helicopters,
and one of the coolest sequences in the movie. He's just he takes on an entire army by himself
in slow motion, Quicksilver style.
The whole thing is in slow motion.
And when I went into the movie, one of my main demands is I hope they play "Paint It Black" by the Rolling Stones, because it's such a good song for this, and I can't believe they did it.
I didn't know that was on your list of demands.
It's such a good song, and it was just perfect for this movie, and it happened, and I was so happy. I smiled.
Yeah, I did too, and I was generally kind of bored, but okay with it. And those were the moments where I sat up. And I was like, yes, this is what I came here to see.
Superhero stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, he's setting up bombs and stuff where he's just moving so quick that it's inconceivably fast.
He put a grenade in a man's mouth,
which was super cool. I wish they hadn't PG'd this movie down. There was a report that this movie was originally X-rated, and they slowly peeled back some of the...
You could tell that grenade was going to explode in that guy's mouth.
Yeah, and that would have been so cool.
But he took it out and went, uh-oh.
You said X-rated, not R-rated?
Oh.
Does Black Adam hang cock?
Adam Smasher lays pipe in that cup.
To everything.
Adam smashes, dude.
Everything.
X-rated. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, you said that too. And, like, my brain noticed it, but
I
I'm
didn't
just like, I
say
need to move
anything.
on.
You could have saved me here.
I can't save you today. You're just,
I'm in rare form today.
and it's not a good rare. I love you.
Aw.
Say it back.
I love you too.
There we go.
I should have hit you with the I know.
Oh man, so he catches this like missile that was going for the car, and it blows up. But it's made of like
Oh, it's made of Ethereum.
not Ethereum, no.
Ethereum.
No.
It's made of Ethereum.
Dogecoin.
It's an NFT.
Uranium?
Okay,
Who
so
knows?
it's Eternium, probably. We think it's Eternium.
It's DC's vibranium.
It is.
It is. Also, Kahndaq is DC's shittier Wakanda.
That seems culturally insensitive.
I mean, it's like Wakanda, but shittier.
I'd say it's like Wakanda, but sandier.
Tomato. So it hurts him.
yeah, because Ethereum hurts everybody that touches it.
And so the professor's like, let's pick him up and take him to our house
Yeah,
to heal.
let's throw him in the van.
Wakes up in the room. He's with the dumb kid.
And then, like, nothing interesting really happens for a while.
It's a lot of just, like, meddling.
I'll say
This is mostly where we go to meet the Justice Society. It's their part of the movie.
I didn't mind the kid as much as you guys did, and you know what's even more so? I didn't like the brother guy.
Why?
I thought
best character.
I thought he was annoying, and I liked the kid.
Who hurt you?
I don't know.
Who
man.
took your smile?
What?
The more you guys talk about movies, the more I wonder the same questions. What happened to me? Why am I broken?
So nothing really happens for a while after that point, and like they're setting up the Justice Society. We've already talked about them. One thing that I'd like to say, again, I hate how people compare Marvel and DC so much in the cinema. Bold move to make Atom Smasher look exactly like Deadpool, but big and blue and red.
It's very similar.
Very similar.
What's the difference between the Atom Smasher and the Atom?
Yep. Yes, sir.
So DC has like 3 that I know of. There's Atom Smasher, the Atom, and then Captain Atom.
Captain Atom doesn't have the same powers, though.
Doesn't, but man.
He is like a nuclear man.
But they're so similar in name. Like, they really like...
Black Atom,
Oh, man.
Captain Atom, different Atom, of course, but, you know, phonetically, they sound very similar.
Yeah, they love that little... They love Atom.
They love Atom. They love Atom and Atom, you know? So, yeah, they get to the Justice Society. They introduce all these interesting characters that are very, like... skin level deep in detail and ambition and motive. They introduced, was it Henry Winkler?
Oh yeah,
As the original Atom Smasher?
yeah.
Yes.
I can't remember his character's name. Let me see if I can find it. What a weird casting decision while I'm looking here. Like, why would they just randomly drop, oh yeah, Henry Winkler was a superhero.
To expand the DC universe without...
But, like, is it...
No, they're doing it wrong.
Yeah, is it good expansion? They're doing that thing. Oh my goodness gracious. It just hit me. It's another parallel between DC and Marvel, and I have said 3 times that I hate doing that. It's the same thing as Ant-Man and the Wasp, where...
Flashbacks.
No. Where they have an older actor be the old Ant-Man,
Yeah.
and they have a newer actor be the new Ant-Man.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Why are they doing that? Why did they do this to themselves?
Characters.
But, like, I don't understand the point. Like, it's just like, DC, if you're gonna be doing your own thing, which I think they shine their brightest when they're doing stuff that's different from Marvel, why aren't they doing their own thing? You know, it seems like a simple parallel to draw that anybody in a writer's room should have been able to see at the very moment that they wrote it to paper that, oh, Atom Smasher was a character in the past and we have a new Atom Smasher now. They should have been able to see, oh, people are going to draw the parallel between this and Ant-Man. Why did nobody say, hey guys, maybe we should try to be a little more original here? I like, as much as I've said this episode that I hate people drawing the parallels, I'm starting to become one of those people.
Man.
Live in real time. Near the end of this podcast.
Before our very ears.
Oh no.
Oof.
It's a rapid decline. Either you die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain, I guess.
How's it feel to be a villain?
This movie feels like how I feel about The Dark Knight Rises.
Go on.
Yeah.
Where it's like non-offensive, but like it didn't need to exist.
Okay, yeah.
I'll give you that.
Where like I can like I'd rather watch The Dark Knight. You know, I'd rather watch Man of Steel.
Yeah,
I've
I'd
seen
give you
the
that.
story before. It doesn't do anything necessarily new for me. I get big Dark Knight Rises vibes.
Something you don't see in like the Man of Steel is Superman just grabbing people out of jets and throwing them to the ground.
Yeah, but like I don't need that.
You don't need that? I think they had an interesting thing where they made a movie about a character that is traditionally a villain, and they didn't lean heavily enough into that.
And you know what? And not only that, I think my biggest problem is it's The Rock.
Man,
I can't separate it from like this is a character that I can care about other than this is just The Rock being The Rock. Because in every movie The Rock's in, he's the same character.
So would you be taken out of it if in the next appearance he made he had that thick widow speak?
I would prefer that. That would
Yeah.
make it less like Dwayne Johnson and more like this is the Black Adam. Because what do you like? Show me an iteration of Black Adam where he's bald. They don't do that. Like.
Yeah, I think they're gonna probably start, or they probably have in recent comics started doing that in anticipation.
I hate that he's known for that dumb-looking widow's peak. Give it to him. Like
that Vegeta level widow's peak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want him to have hair.
But,
make Dwayne Johnson have hair again.
But he has male pattern baldness real
do you think
bad.
he shaves his head, or do you?
Dwayne
think,
Johnson,
yeah, or do you think
Yes.
he went bald?
I think he shaves his head.
Yeah.
I think his hair might have been thinning, and he might have just gone fully bald.
I want him to grow it back out again.
What if they just give him like a really good wig?
I want like
They could
like
afford
the
it.
Scorpion King level wig.
They could afford a good wig for that man.
What if they just CGI a wig on?
Oh man, that
Not
sounds
again.
terrible.
Just take the just really DC it up.
Just
Man,
they have such a sordid history with CG. I don't think their track record with CG is worse than Marvel's, and Marvel has been getting absolutely dookied on lately about their bad CG.
Speaking of bad CG, the final villain.
Sabak.
ooh, yeah.
Oh man, he looked rough.
I leaned over to Kevin and said, I've been playing through the original God of War on the PlayStation, and I leaned over to Kevin and said, oh man, this looks a lot like an enemy type from God of War. He looks like a terrible PS1 render.
And I said, he doesn't look quite that bad. But, you know,
PS2.
I don't
it
remember
was
him
PS2,
looking...
not PS1.
I would give him PS3. Let's come on.
Oh. Okay.
Come on. Like, I'd say Xbox 360, PS3 era. Like, let's be real here.
He's no next gen for 2022.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
all I'm
no.
saying.
Definitely not.
He looked like he was made of clay.
Yes.
It looks like he was made 4 months ago when they made the movie and realized they forgot to have a villain. And then they're like, oh man, we need to have a big battle. We have to have Dwayne Johnson fight someone in the final act.
Would you guys have liked this movie better if Sabak, I don't remember his other name, Sabak is what I'm going to call him from now on,
Okay.
absolutely executed that kid
No, I liked the kid.
No.
and the mom.
Also, he became Sabak because he got the crown that they were looking for.
Oh, yeah, and then he read the inscription that's on it backwards. There's an inscription, it's like a dumb subplot. It has to be read backwards or it doesn't work. You have to die to become Sabak.
You have to die to live.
Yeah.
Or to live is to die. It was
No,
like a backwards
you had
thing.
it right. It
Yeah, but that's how they were reading it.
Yeah, they were reading it.
But we find out that Ishmael is like a great descendant of the OG king.
Yeah, that was his name, Ishmael.
Yeah.
And hold on, let me pull my notes back out while I'm here. So Ishmael is a descendant of King Acton.
Of course.
Which King Acton is the king in Black Adam's time. I think he says that he's the only direct descendant.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I don't know, I guess that means he's the only one that can use the crown or whatever?
Yes. I don't know.
Or something? It's probably not.
Probably.
It's probably not that, but...
And we find out also around this time that Black Adam was initially the kid, and he was great. And so, like, he was actually their savior.
No. Black Adam wasn't initially the kid. Black Adam is the dad of the kid from the beginning.
But the kid became technically
Black
Adam before Black Adam.
He has a different name, and I
don't remember the name.
Don't know it.
That's why I'm just saying.
I didn't put that in my notes either. I didn't think it was important. It started with an H.
Yeah.
I know that much.
It's a letter.
It started with an H. Harut. And Harut is played by Jalon Christian.
Good for him.
So shout out to Jalon Christian. So Harut gets executed, but he doesn't. He turns into a puff of smoke, gets the powers of the gods, which I like in this universe that the gods are canonically just the Greek ones.
Mm-hmm.
That's I don't know. It's pretty funny to me, I guess. He gets de-smoke puffed. He's like a cool, he's like a shirtless version of Black Adam, kinda. He just has the lightning bolt symbol dangling off of a necklace instead. And then, his father so Black Adam gets shot with an arrow, he's dying, and Harut saves him by giving him the gifts of the gods.
Yes.
And then that leads to Harut
immediately gets sniped.
Yeah, he gets sniped automatically. They were waiting for it. They knew it would happen.
They couldn't believe it happened.
They were so happy when they trapped this little boy.
They murdered him.
So then Teth Adam, he performs a real 9/11 at the castle.
Oh my gosh, man.
He does. He absolutely terrorist attacks it.
Oh, you double down. Kanye, is that you?
I mean, what else would you call it? He flies into that place and then it explodes and gets leveled.
I would just say leveled.
9/11.
You just have to associate it with real tragedy, and man, you did it.
I peeked that on your notes earlier, and I almost said something, and I giggled to myself. If you listen back in the beginning of this podcast, you might hear me finally chuckle to myself just because I looked over and saw that in his notes.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Yeah. So my note says exactly. Teth Adam 9/11 to the king because he was trying to make an evil crown.
You used it as a verb.
Yeah, I did.
We celebrate that as like a national holiday.
And it was a tragedy.
No, if we celebrate it as a national tragedy, we don't celebrate it as
Yeah,
a
actually,
holiday.
yeah. We don't. Also, we don't celebrate it at all. We mourn it.
Recognize it.
We recognize it as a
tragedy.
tragedy.
Right, I didn't.
Man, David's over here throwing a parade because it's 9/11, and I'm the bad guy for using it as a verb.
Oh man!
Eye for an eye.
So Harut gets sniped. Teth Adam 9/11's the king, and then the wizards are like, "Oh man, this isn't what we wanted at all." So they imprison him.
You're not Harut.
Yeah, you're not Harut. And so the wizards imprison him, and then that's
after he kills most of the wizards.
Oh yeah, he's the reason that there are no wizards, right?
There's a reason there's only one wizard left.
There's a reason that in the cast list they name the wizards as Wizard 1 to 7, and then there's the Wizard, which is the one played by
the guy from Shazam.
The guy from Shazam. He's in everything. I feel really bad for not remembering his name.
It's fine.
I'm so sorry. Whatever
Guardians
your name is.
Galaxy.
Yeah, he's in the DC stuff twice.
Good for him.
Who else does he play?
Don't care.
Oh, he's the Fish King. The Fish King in Aquaman. The one that's like a CG fish man.
Got you.
Yeah, he plays that guy.
I feel like his name starts with a C.
Man, let me look it up.
I'm gonna bet for Stowaway.
I'm gonna bet.
I'm gonna cut that. What?
Read it.
It's Digimon.
Oh, it's Digimon.
It's Digimon. His name is
Jamon.
Jamon Hansu.
Jamon Hansu.
That was close.
Man, that's as bad as saucy bacon. Digimon. Oh man.
I was close.
I'm cutting her. I'm bleeping her. I don't know.
What's wrong with the Shinobi way?
So many things. I don't even know where to begin. Chidobi Wing? So, the wizard is played by Jamon Hansu.
Digimon.
And, he's the only one that's listed as... Actually, he's just listed as wizard. The rest of them are...
Maybe
wizard,
the IMDb guy was having a bad day. And
the rest of them are wizard 1 to 7. But he's just wizard. And, he's the only one left at the end of that. And so they trap him in it. Why don't they just take the powers away? Can't they do that?
Plot. The movie couldn't movie without it.
They trap him in a rock.
Dwayne?
Oh my gosh. Dwayne The Rock Johnson was trapped in a rock for 5,000 years.
It be your own people. It's tragic.
I just want the record to know that earlier when discussing this film, Kevin said that he thought that Dwayne Johnson could rock the Widow's Peak.
I did say that, and I didn't mean to.
I'm really glad that wasn't going to make it onto the pod until Brent brought it up.
If I had to hear it, so do all of you.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I didn't mean for the pun. It just kind of happened.
You knew what you were doing.
I actually really didn't.
It was so genuine, too, the way he was saying. He's like, I think he could rock it.
That's despicable.
Yeah.
I just think it was Dwayne Johnson.
Shut up.
The actor.
He gets his powers taken away. He gets trapped in a rock.
He doesn't get his powers taken away. They just trap him in a rock for some lady to summon him 5,000 years later. I bet the wizard was so mad.
Full transparency, the movie was losing me around this time, too.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of running out of stuff to talk about.
The final battle, he beats Sabak.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I forgot about it.
Dr. Fate died.
He rips Sabak in half.
Totally in half.
That's
cool.
Like a sheet of paper.
And then he's the new ruler of...
No, he's not. He could be the new ruler, but he destroys the throne.
So, Watcher.
He's
Guardian?
like something.
He's the guardian of that place.
I think he's gonna be probably the ruler of Kahndaq, really. Yeah. That's what Black Adam traditionally is. Whenever he's not turned into a skeleton by Shazam, he is the ruler of Kahndaq. And he's not normally actually, necessarily evil. He's just kind of, I think these guys are going to give me the best case scenario for Kahndaq. If I align with these guys, it's going to make Kahndaq better.
Yeah.
And so, he ends up normally aligning with shitty people. But, I never actually know why. It's why would you align with Lex Luthor, the supervillain, who, is just really trying to do evil things?
Yeah.
If I were him, I'd align with, Superman. You know, the guy who was always beating Lex Luthor into the mud.
Speaking of Superman.
Oh, yeah, this is where they show Superman again for the first time in years.
Actually showing him. Henry Cavill is back.
They do it in a really weird way. They have him in a dark room that's clearly not on the set, and there's a beam of light, a god ray shining on part of him, and then he turns to the camera and it reveals his face. It's super dramatic, but it is the character's reintroduction into this canon. I do fear that they're going to erase the sad boy Superman that I love so much. I want him to hurt.
Henry Cavill today said he's excited to bring a joyous Superman, a joyous, joy-filled Superman to the screens.
Which I'm devastated to hear that.
He got his smile back.
I'm glad someone did.
Much like Brent loves a destroyed, devastated Spider-Man, I like a destroyed, devastated Superman. I was so excited for the vision that Zack Snyder had of Superman's just whole life getting crumbled around him. And I just don't know if we'll ever get that now.
Probably won't. Maybe eventually.
It's going to be boring.
It's going to be a lot of Henry Cavill saving cats out of trees.
And I don't want that. I want Henry Cavill, like, fighting Brainiac, and Brainiac has Lois Lane trapped in a little glass jar, and, like, there's nothing he can do about it until he defeats Brainiac. And Brainiac's way tougher and badder than he is. You know? I mean, that's what Brainiac does. He traps entire cities in little glass jars.
Yeah.
You know? I want Superman to have flown away from Metropolis for something. Brainiac to come down in his weird tentacle spaceship, pick Metropolis up, set it in a tiny glass jar, screw the top on, and then just put it on a shelf somewhere.
Brainiac really, like, he could rock a killer snow globe business.
That's what he does.
I don't think
But
that's
the business is all for himself.
Yeah. He's like a collector of snow globes.
Gotcha. It's just his hobby. Maybe Superman is the villain.
Huh?
I think Brainiac just has a hobby he's, like, happy with. It's like collecting stamps.
Excuse me?
He just collects cities.
So, like, that'd be like if collecting stamps were cutting squares off of people's skin.
And?
They didn't want you to do that. It's non-consensual.
Oh.
The city doesn't want to be ripped off the earth and put into a little globe.
Huh.
Would you like it if I cut a...
Would he have to get consent from everyone in the city?
Yes.
Everyone?
Well, probably just the government and anybody who didn't want... And, well, he doesn't ask the government. He just does it. America's pretty messed up like that. You know, if the government says it, then you just gotta live with it.
Yeah, we're gonna be in a snow globe.
Yeah. If Brainiac came down from the heavens and was like, "Hey, Joe Biden, can I put your country in a snow globe?"
And he's like, "Oh,
sure." Then, you know, we're in a snow globe.
If I ever run for president, that's gonna be like my argument: is if you elect this man, we're gonna end up in a snow globe.
I don't think you're going to get any votes. That's a very Vermin Supreme level.
I would win Wyoming.
Fuck Wyoming.
Amen.
I
Quick,
apologize to our one listener in
name
Wyoming.
a city in Wyoming.
Where's the gun? You're gonna have to kill me.
Name not even the capital, a city.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Heads up to our one viewer in Cheyenne, Wyoming.
That doesn't even sound like a real city in Wyoming.
It is.
It's
the capital.
I like to think Wyoming is just a blank piece.
Yep, Cheyenne's the capital of Wyoming. Much like I didn't know Anchorage, you're learning for Cheyenne the first time.
Oh, that's devastating for them.
I've heard of Cheyenne, Wyoming.
We've gone off the rails.
So what do you guys think of the movie overall after we've...
I give it 5.8 snails.
5.8, that's a solid...
It wasn't 4-star bad, it wasn't leaning on the bad, but it wasn't leaning on the up. It was just very mid for me. It was in the middle of the run.
I'm gonna give it 6.5 Kanye's.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
But like, the Kanye that made Graduation.
That's the same Kanye as we have now.
Same Kanye.
I'm not so sure.
I give Black Adam 8 out of 10 Ethereum, which happens to be worth, at the time of recording, $12,672.
That's a lot more than 10 stars, buddy.
It's 8 Ethereum out of 10.
Oh, 8?
Yeah,
Okay.
8. I liked it a lot. I really enjoyed it, other than that stupid kid. Sorry to the
actor.
actor.
They gave the idiot a cape, and he looks stupid in the cape.
I didn't mind. I was like, oh, look at him go in his little Justice Society cape. Like, man, screw me.
Dumb
liking
idiot
the
kid.
I hate that kid.
Yeah, that's how I felt about the big, dumb brother.
Why didn't Kareem
Character.
get a cape? Kareem is the star of the
Kareem
show.
sucked.
What?
He was annoying.
He was sitting in his van listening to music.
He didn't even tie the cape on correctly. It was so it just hung too. I hate it.
Hold on, before we finish here, I hated whenever the kid ran out into the field of people, did his hand triangle, and then everybody was like, "Yeah, we should be doing something," and then everybody turned to him and did a hand triangle at him.
What was cut out of the movie that you guys don't know about?
Wait.
During that scene when they're fighting him off, one of the guys says, "Man, if only this stupid dumb kid in a red cape would do the triangle thing, we'd win." And man, he did it. They cut that part out, for pacing. But yeah, they kept that part.
I wish they cut a lot of the other parts of the movie for pacing.
Also, guys, we forgot to mention during that time with the dumb triangle hand kid. That kid was so stupid.
I hate it.
Sorry to the actor who plays that stupid kid.
We're not going to do a wellness check on you.
We're not going to do a wellness check on you. We already have, one or two people that we're doing that on. Yeah. Shelley Duvall and Rohan Cunningham. It was Cunningham, right?
Shit. No, that's Corey Cunningham.
Oh, shoot.
Corey in the house.
Rohan Campbell?
Yeah.
Okay. There's also the skeletons from Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed running around town.
Yes. No, that's pretty good, accurate. Yeah. It was your typical CGI army of hell. And
just some skeletons, mostly.
It was just some guys swinging against nothing that existed, and then they, put a picture in it. It was really bad. Yeah,
they just, in Photoshop, took a cutout of the skeletons from Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed, and then a subsequent picture of a pile of bones, and that's all they did.
Good for them. I mean, someone got paid for that.
Also, might be a little forced. We talked about Scooby-Doo 1 in the last episode. This is our sequel episode. Scooby-Doo 2. Yeah. So, James Gunn, you have to write a third Scooby-Doo before...
Make it R-rated, you coward.
Yeah, you coward.
Make Scrappy the main villain.
You're working with Warner Brothers now. Just make it happen. We all want it.
Bring back Scrappy in the prime meridian.
Wait, hold on a minute. He hates Scrappy. Why would he bring Scrappy back? He wrote Scooby-Doo 1 to where people would stop using Scrappy-Doo.
You can't stop the Scrappy-Doo.
He did. He effectively did.
Yeah, in the newer
Has he not been in anything?
No, and I think in Mystery Incorporated, they go to the Mystery Inc. Museum, and Daphne walks over to a statue, and she's like, "Oh, what's this? I forgot about this." And Fred comes up to her, and he goes, "No, Daphne, we all agreed we'd never talk about it ever again." And they walk away.
Did they? Oh my gosh, they just...
James Gunn successfully killed Scrappy-Doo.
Yeah.
Put him down. Took him to the kennel.
Oh my goodness.
Someone should long ago.
Yeah.
Scrappy gets a lot of unneeded hate.
He's not alive anymore.
He's dead in our hearts and in our minds.
Let's have a moment of silence for Scrappy-Doo.
Horn out.
Alright.
Well,
man, didn't think that's how we would end this podcast, but...
Yeah.
Welcome back, Henry Cavill. I'm glad that this movie was the springboard for that.
Yeah, that's true. I'm glad that they got him back.
That was the one positive I can take away from this movie is, baby,
Superman's back, baby.
Henry Cavill in, Scrappy-Doo out.
It's a bird. It's
a soul for a soul.
It's Henry Cavill.
So,
just as the Red Skull.
And his nose looks fine. He doesn't have a CG mustache. He just looks like a regular dude.
Is that it?
That's it.
Man. Welcome back, Henry Cavill. Anyways.
I'm Kevin.
I'm David.
And I'm Brent.
And this was The Plotline. See you guys next week.